Hey everybody, what is happening? What is going on? What is good? Welcome back to another video. Now, if you're here just to see the results of this filter, I advise you to skip to this timestamp here. It'll take you to the before and afters. Then there's a couple of shots at the end where I basically just put the filter in front of the lens so you can see like the differences and everything. But yeah, skip to that timestamp. It'll take you straight there. The rest of you, welcome to the video. My name is Omar. I'm a photographer and a filmmaker. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about ND filters, and more specifically the one that I bought, the Gobe variable ND filter. So before I get started in opening that and talking about my experience with it, I want to talk about what an ND filter is, because maybe some of you here don't know what an ND filter is, and that's why you're watching this video. So allow me to educate a little bit. Now, let's say you're filming something outdoors. ISO is at 100, your shutter is 1/50th of a second if you're filming at 24-25 frames per second, which is what you need, right? So ISO is all the way down, your f-stop is, your shutter speed is where it wants to be. Now, it's still very, very bright, but you want to film at f2.8 because that's why you bought the damn expensive lens. What do? How do you darken it? Obviously, your only option is to bring the f-stop up so that you can darken the image. The problem with that is that you get rid of all the background blur, which is what you want. You want the background blur, right? So this is where ND filters come in. What this basically does is it darkens the image without you having to mess around with your settings. I have two Sigma art lenses. One is 1.8, the 1.4, the other one is 1.8. So I do not want to film on an f12, f13, f8, f4, because that is the reason why I bought these expensive lenses, is for that 1.4, 1.8, very fast lenses, right? So without having to mess around with those, I stick this filter on it and I can basically turn it because it's a variable ND filter, and it will darken or brighten up the image to my liking without having to mess around with any of the settings. So if it's a very bright sunny day, I want to film with super background blur, f2.8, f1.4, f1.8. I keep my shutter speed at 1/50th of a second, keep my ISO down because there's no other option, and I can just darken it. The background blur will stay intact, but it'll darken the image. So you have two different types of ND filters. You have fixed ND filters and you have variable ND filters. A fixed ND filter is basically, as the name suggests, it is a fixed stop. So you cannot change it. Let's say you put it on, it's still too bright, you're kind of screwed. You have to take it off, put another one on until you find the right one. I don't know why they have this. I think maybe if you're just very specific with things, you're obviously going to use those, but I bought the variable ND filter because this allows me to just change the brightness and darkness of it in one filter by just turning it, and I'll show you in a little bit. So so this is by a Japanese, I'm pretty sure, a Japanese company called Gobe, and this was 36 pounds from Amazon. Now, why has it taken me this long to buy a filter? It's been about 5-6 years since I started filmmaking and photography. Honestly, all the ND filters that I saw online were so expensive. They were like 150, 200, 250 pounds. And I was like, dude, why am I gonna spend that much money when I wanna buy a nicer lens and I can just turn that f-stop up, right? I've noticed in the most recent years, especially when investing in nice lenses, that is not an option anymore, dude. I need that f1.4, I need that one f1.8. So after 5 years, I've purchased an ND filter. I wish I bought this before buying anything else. Batteries, SD cards, a new lens, a new camera. I wish I had this in my camera bag. It's very important. Now you're probably wondering, I'm gonna open this up in a little bit by the way, why this doesn't come installed in cameras. Honestly, I don't know. It doesn't come installed in DSLR cameras, but it does come in cinema cameras. In cinema cameras, there are built-in ND filters, okay? DSLRs, I don't know why, because most people have DSLRs and it's very important to have an ND filter built in. So guys, Sony, Canon, Panasonic, please, just give us even a cheap one, man. It'll do the trick. So, 36 pounds on Amazon, Gobe. I was so reluctant to buy this. I saw this a long time ago because it's so cheap. And as camera people, we know that the cheaper the equipment, the crappier it's gonna be, okay? I've obviously had this for just 2 days, so I don't know, maybe after a year it's just not gonna work properly. But from yesterday's filming, it worked pretty damn well, okay? So there was only one downside to it, but I'll explain that a little bit. So let's open this up. I like, first of all, the cardboard color with the font there. Very, very cool. So this is an ND2 400. It's a 77 millimeter Radius, is that right? Radius. So the cool thing that I like about this this company, by the way, is that with the purchase of this filter, it says 5 trees are planted in an area devastated by severe deforestation, revitalizing ecosystems and empowering local communities. Yo, if it's saving the environment, man, I'm all for it. So let's open this bad boy up. I've obviously opened it already to try it out, but I've only used the filter. I don't know what else comes with it. So first of all, we have, there's not much in there, which is always a good thing. So it comes first of all with this thing here. Not sure what this is. Register your trees. Okay, so this is my code. So I enter this code on the website, it'll register my 5 trees. So I'm gonna get on that today. So next up, it comes with a cleaning cloth. Very cool. We always need I have a lot of cleaning cloths in my bags. Every time I buy something, it comes with a cleaning cloth, but I'm all for it. So let's check it out. Gobe, inspired by nature. Dope. So nice and simple. Feels pretty good. As long as it does the job, I'm happy. I'll probably take some product photos of this. Oh, it's very wrinkled though. Don't know if I can do that. Cool. And then we have the filter here in this tinned box, which I am very much digging. I think it looks cool, man. It reminds me of, like, you know, those tobacco tins. Very nice. It's a little dirty. Not sure why. It's not coming out. I cleaned it yesterday. Still not up, but it's all good. So tin here, very well made. Nice. We open it up. It's gonna open. There we go. And the filter comes in a nice little plastic pouch. Very good. Open that up, and here we go. The filter in all its glory. What I love about this filter, by the way, is how dark it is. Look at that. It is just fully blacked out, man. When I had this on my camera yesterday, I was just looking at my camera and I was like, dude, this looks really freaking cool. So yeah, actually, I want to show you something. Okay, I want to actually show you how this works. Right, so check this out. Look at that, completely darkened out, okay? Now if we turn it, look at this. There we go. So that's how this thing works. It basically legit just, look at that. And now I'm gonna show you something, all right? Look at this. This is why a variable ND filter is really good. You have the lens, you have the filter on the lens like that, and watch this, okay? You turn it, and it's going to, boom, darken the image, all right? That is how an ND filter works, a variable ND filter actually. Now with fixed ND filters, it's gonna come in different strengths. Like I said, you're gonna have to keep putting them on until one works. With this one, you just turn it, boom. You get what you want in one filter. And I think this is fantastic. I'm not too sure why anyone would buy a fixed ND filter. So yeah, as I was saying, the good and bad things about this filter. Now, the good things is that it's very light. It's a variable ND filter, so you can just turn it and it's gonna do the job. Very light, and it just feels, like very good quality. It does its job. When I was using this, I was not like disappointed whatsoever. I was like, it works. It darkens the image while I shot everything on f2.8 at 1/50th of a second at ISO 100. And yesterday it was very bright. It was a very bright but cloudy day. So this was the perfect thing to try out yesterday in yesterday's weather. It did its job. I had no problems with it. The bad sides, the negative qualities about this, I would say when I darkened it a lot in certain situations, there was a lot of vignetting and it actually just looked like the damn thing was like closing in. I don't know what the hell that was. I don't know if it was just too sunny, too bright, or if it just can't darken it to that extent. Most of the time I found myself actually just like using it on like half strength. So the cool thing, by the way, is that there are markers here. So you can see, because when I first put it on and I changed it, I was like, how am I gonna remember like which strength it was, you know? Then I saw this and it's so cool. There's an arrow there and you can just, yep, there we go. Very good indicator. And I mostly had mine around there. And yeah, it did the job. So vignetting. Also, I noticed that it changed the color a little bit, just a tiny bit, a smudge. It changed the color just a tiny bit, and I'm not sure why, but I'm going to take a guess because it's, you know, quite darkened. It's gonna mess around with the color of the image, which is not a big deal because in post you can just change that, but I'm pretty sure with the more expensive filters, it won't do that. So how do I fix this on my lens? Because you're probably wondering, well, you know, what size do I get and everything. This is a 77mm. Now I have different types of lenses. I have a Sigma 35mm, I have a Sigma 18-35, I have a Canon 10-18, and they all come in different radiuses. So in comes your step up and step down rings. These things you can buy from Amazon. I'll link this and I'll link the filter down below. They are affiliate links, by the way. So, you know, buy stuff with my link, please. So yeah, it comes with these step up and step down rings. These are K&F Concept, I think they're called. And what these do is you get a step up or step down ring and you screw it on to your lens. It does nothing, by the way. This is basically just so that then you can, once you've attached this to the lens, you can then screw on your filter and it'll work on any single lens. But you obviously have to have the step up and step down rings. And these come in different, oh, I hate that feeling. I'm just gonna do that. Oh. I forgot what I was gonna say, but oh my God. So yeah, they come in basically different sizes. It steps up and steps down, and you can get some, obviously comes in like huge ones for like big lenses, man. So yeah, with these, when you have these, any filter that you get at any size, it'll basically work on whatever lens because you have the ability to screw it on with these step up and step down rings. So when you're buying a filter, I do recommend having step up and step down rings. Once you have these, by the way, that's it, you're set pretty much. Unless you have like 10 of the same lenses, obviously you're gonna need a bunch of same step up and step down rings. But yeah, that is basically what an ND filter is. That is what it does. That is the reason why I have not bought one in a long time. Once again, I've only had this for like a day or two and I've only used it once. So there might be issues that come up later on. And if so, I'll make a video talking about that. But from basically trying it out yesterday, the fact that there was no issues, no faults whatsoever, it came within 2 days. It came perfectly packaged. Very stoked with it. And I'm very happy I have one. So yes, that is pretty much it for me, everybody. Here are the before and afters. If you have stayed for this long, you might have just watched halfway, gone back and skipped to it, but here are the before and after images. This works so well with photography and video stuff, by the way, so if you're a photographer or a videographer or both, definitely buy one. Thank you very much for watching. Here is a montage of the before and after. Enjoy your day, everyone. Peace.